Okay, so we're going to talk about adding and subtracting negatives. So this very first problem, 5 minus 3, I'm sure you probably know the answer to that, and that is 2. But I want to show you on the number line what that looks like, because we're going to use the number line for some more difficult problems to help us to get the answer pretty quickly. So 5 minus 3, we're going to start at 5, and we're going to subtract 3, which means we're going to go to the left 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we end up with 2, which is the answer that we got. Okay? Also, we can rewrite this problem with 3's additive inverse. So we're going to say 5 plus a negative 3. And all this means is an additive inverse, we're starting out in this equation here, we've got 5 minus 3. So 3 is positive, but we're subtracting the positive. In this one, 3 is negative, and we're adding the negative. And all that means is we've got 3 here, and we've got its additive inverse here. And what that means is when you add 3 and a negative 3 together, you get 0. Okay? Why do we care? On this level, maybe it's easier to see it if you actually write it out like this. If it's easier to see it, then great. In the future, you're going to be using the additive inverse to balance equations or solve for an unknown variable. So it is important, definitely, to learn. So let's move on to the next one. 2 minus 2, is 0. Again, we can rewrite this problem using the additive inverse of 2, which is negative 2. And let's look at it on the number line. We're going to start with 2, and we're going to subtract 2. And that means we need to go to the left, and we end up with 0, which is exactly what we knew it would be. So we put 0 there. Now on this one, we got 2 minus 5. Now 2 minus 5 is a little bit more difficult to see the answer, and that's where the number line comes into play. So first, let's go ahead and write this as 2 plus a negative 5, and that might help you to see the answer better. But let's go ahead and take the number line and see how this works. So we're going to start with 2, and we're going to subtract 5 from it, or add a negative 5. Both cases, we go to the left 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we end up with a negative 3. Okay, let's try the next one. We got 2 plus a negative 4. It's already in the additive inverse form. So we can go straight to the number line and go 2 plus a negative 4. So we go 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we end up with a negative 2. So let's go ahead and write that answer down. Now we have a minus 3 minus 2. Let's write the additive inverse. So we get a negative 3 plus a negative 2. And going back to the number line, we start with negative 3 this time. And we're going to add a negative 2, so we still need to go to the left. So 1, 2, and we end up with a negative 5. Negative 5. All right. And for this last one, we've got negative 4 plus 5. Let's go ahead and go straight to the number line. We've got negative 4 right here. And we're going to add 5 to it, so we're going to go to the right this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there we end up at 1. At the number 1. And that's it. Adding and subtracting negatives using an additive inverse. And I'll see you in the next one.